Uh, just quickly, starting off, never like to lose a game. Hate to lose a game, but when we went into this game, I thought realistically our goal was going to be to get it to the fourth quarter and give ourselves a chance to win, and that was the goal that I didn't talk about a lot, but in the back of my head, I thought it was going to be a fourth quarter game, and I really did. The way I look at it, there's a lot of things to take from this, and I'm going to look at the positives. Our defense played a tough-ass football game. Those guys, they got 4 turnovers, third down defense. Penn State only converted 1 out of 15, and I was really pleased with the way Coach Bola had those kids playing and those defensive coaches. On offense, we had a kid start a quarterback that hadn't played since high school, really, other than getting in for mop-up duty at Oklahoma. And I thought the kid did a good job. I was pleased with Drew for the most part. He threw the ball to 9 different receivers today. The numbers weren't bad, 17 to 35, I think is what they had him at. A couple interceptions. The one was, a little desperation there at the end. But I'm pleased with him, and he's a winner. I like the way he competes. We got things to clean up. We always talk about controlling the controllables. We had a couple holding plays. A couple of those holding plays, if we just get our head across, I don't think they call them. We had the one late hit with Ashton out of frustration. It wasn't smart, so we got to clean those things up. But for the most part, I like the way the kids compete. We came up a little short. So we look forward to moving on to a good Northwestern team that's ranked in the top 25 and be a great challenge for us. With that, I'll take any questions.
Raise your hand. Questions, please. Dan?
Coach, when you talk about what you've seen from Drew and the positives you took from today, overall, with him on the sideline and him out there, what did you take for him as a whole?
He's a competitor. I knew either way we're going to be in a situation where we had a young quarterback and a kid that hasn't played in a while. I liked his moxie. I liked his energy. I liked his fight. I liked the way he listened to details on the sideline, things that maybe you don't always see. He made a couple real good throws, took some shots. I liked when he took off with the ball and got a first down. I thought that showed some tough, some hard-nosed football out of a kid that's, hadn't played much football in a few years now. It's not easy, you know what I mean? I like the hell out of the kid.
Nico?
Coach, what does it say about your guys? When you're down 2 touchdowns, less than 10 minutes to go, and they fight and they get you into a position in 2 minutes, you really have a chance to win this thing.
That's
what does
right.
Say about your guys?
It says a lot about them. I think our kids are just that. They're fighters. They're kids that love to play the game. I was happy. We didn't have any kids cramping today. There are a lot of cramps on the field. None of them were in the blue and orange. Hats off to Will Hicks in the strength program, Nate Peoples. I thought our kids were prepared that way. And that defense was on the field a bunch, man, and they kept fighting. We got some things to clean up on both sides of the ball, but I liked our kids' fight, their intestinal fortitude, and we'll be just fine. We'll be just fine.
Michael?
Scott, you talked about how Drew hadn't played a lot since high school, and Hackenberg is right out of high school.
Yeah.
Were you impressed with the way he handled himself today?
Yeah, I thought the kid did a good job. I really do. I thought he did a good job. I thought our defense did a nice job too. I don't know. I don't think they had over 100 yards rushing, did they? They have net 57, 296 total. Passing yards. We got to get that cleaned up. For the most part, yeah, he did a good job. He's going to be a good football player for them.
How did the return of Robinson in the second half change anything you may or may not
Man,
have
maybe we
to
saw
do?
him make a couple plays. He's a good football player. Good football players usually find ways to make plays, Unfortunately, he did a good job, so hats off to him.
But, so Scott, I know it's about the players and so on, but it was your first game. What was it like for you? What was the experience like for you?
I hate to lose. It makes me sick to my stomach to lose. But to answer your question, I had a blast. I really did. I love coaching ball. Ever since I was a little guy, I wanted to do this. I slept well last night. I wasn't nervous. I couldn't wait to just go. It was fun. The fight was fun. Looking in the kids' eyes, when we were down and challenging them and seeing them look at you and say, yeah, we're ready, coach. We're ready for the challenge. I love that. It's what it's all about. I just love to see kids, fight their butt off in tough situations. And it'll be life lessons they carry with them forever. And I hate the hell that we came up short, So we're going to have to find a way to not come up short next week.
But you mentioned something about cleaning up. Do you think anything in your head, you say, man, I wish I had done this, I should have done that? Sticking in your head right now?
Not too. There was one situation where I could have done a better job we had an opportunity to run a punt return on the field, and I didn't do a good job communicating that I'd like to have 2 guys deep, and we only had the 1 guy deep in the situation. I think we played the down with 10, and that was a horrible job by me. And I didn't do a good job communicating on the sideline. So that's the one that jumps out at me about that. I got to do a better job on it.
Chris?
Scott, along those lines, did you change anything in the second half as far as the way you communicated? Or did you have to adjust your process at all?
No, not really. You know, we kept going, you know, and it wasn't bad. It's different, you know, this is the first time I've been on the field in a long time, you know, and there's a lot more chaos down there. And, you know, if we're going to one button to push to get the offense and defense, you know, something as silly as that, you know, in the heat of the moment, you know, and I get a few seconds to make a decision. So I can do a better job with that. I tried to visualize those things the last 3 weeks. You know, I knew if I pressed the button forward, I'm on defense, and backwards, I'm on offense. And I knew our kicking people would be on either way. So, you know, some of those things. But you know, for the most part, I feel good about the first opportunity to try to do things. And I'm proud of these kids. Proud of that guy right there. He's gonna be a damn good football player.
It looked like you spent maybe a lot of time, period, but maybe more time even early communicating directly face-to-face with players, and maybe cut that back in the second half. How do you balance that as a coach? You know,
No, I didn't think about it as much as you.
David?
Ashton was pretty much, it seemed, exclusively in the slot for you guys. How much is he benefiting from a more clearly defined role?
I think he's benefiting. You know, he had a couple opportunities, made a couple plays, had a couple missed assignments, but you know, he's young. We got 3 more seasons with him, so just got to keep finding ways to get him the ball in space, and that's a good place to start.
Stephen?
At halftime, was there kind of, knowing Allen Robinson was going to be there in the second half, was there a plan for defending him, or were you just kind of sticking?
Yeah, it was the same. Yeah, it was the same plan we had going in. You know, we didn't realize he wasn't going to be out there in that first half, so we stuck with the plan, and you know, he got right up behind us on the one, and that's football.
Was he supposed to have safety help on that play, or?
Yeah, we're supposed to have some safety presence there. We didn't do a real good job with our reads, with our eyes, but we'll clean that up.
Nate?
I don't think anyone's asked, but what ultimately separated Drew from Terrell in the quarterback?
Well, it's tough. Both Drew and Terrell are very good football players that have great pride in being a team player. That's what I loved about him. I just think Drew was ready. You know, he's waited a long time for this opportunity. He's prepared himself well. And as a staff, we went around the room, and it was a tough decision because we like both those kids. But, you know, really, I guess it was probably about 10 days ago, right, Drew? About 10 days ago, we sat down and talked and decided that's the direction we were going to go. And I just didn't think it would benefit us in any way to make that announcement early. Didn't want them to, you know who we were playing until they had to. Didn't see any sense in it.
Did Riley Dixon come on late at the end of the camp, and is the punting position still
No,
in the
what
air?
we're doing with Riley is we're using him in the red zone punting. He does a good job with his hang time, and he can do that unorthodox kick with the end over end. And we'll leave fish for the midfield and beyond.
Michael?
Scott, you talked about how, you didn't make it public that this was a game where you just wanted to be in it in the fourth quarter, have a chance to win. You had
Yeah.
2:08 to go, or 2:04 to go.
Yeah.
Drew gets the ball, one last series. What kind of was going through your mind at that point?
I thought we were going to win the damn thing. Really did. I thought we were going to win the doggone game. I was like, this is just what we wanted. And it's what I thought we'd be. You know, I didn't think we were in a position from a confidence level to go out and just blow them out. I thought they were too good of a football team. And I knew they had supporting cast that were pretty good for the young quarterback. But I felt like we were going to win the game.
Last question from Mark.
I guess, what do you take away from this one, though? What did you guys learn in the first game?
Well, I think it's tough for me. I need to go back and really do a good job studying everything real quick to see where we were. But the biggest lessons we learned is, keep fighting the good fight. You always have an opportunity to win a game if you keep fighting. You know, there were times where kids could have hung their heads. They did not hang their heads. The thing I loved about what we did last year, too, to be honest with you. When we were 2-4, we kept fighting. And that's the thing I love about these kids. So the biggest thing is let's take the positives, let's learn from the weaknesses, the mistakes that we made, and let's not repeat the mistakes next week.
Thank you, Coach.